Hi everyone, this is Card Stamping with Clara, and I'm Clara. I'm coming to you tonight with a new set of cards, another round of Christmas cards that I hope you'll enjoy. I thank you for stopping in. A couple of things I need to bring to your attention before we get started. That is, the new paper trimmer is available if you need one. And there's also the Christmas suite is available. It's a beautiful set with a Christmas rose and dies and what have you. So you might want to take a look at that on my web page. I've got a flyer there that shows you what all's in it. Also, Celebration will be coming right after the first of the year. So you'll be seeing some things that we'll be able to show you in the month of December. Some of the products that are going to be available. And I guess that's about it for the updates. I would ask you, if you would please, if you decide that you need to purchase something, please use this host code for the month of November. And also, if you don't mind, push that subscribe button. I really appreciate that. And one feature on my website now that is a little bit different than card making is what I call the weigh down. And if you're a person that is always dieting, trying to lose some weight and what have you, it's just a place to be supported. So if you would like to join me, I'd love for you to come along, because that's the journey I'm on right now, and I'd love to have anybody that's interested to come along with me. Okay, that's kind of a mouthful, but we're going to get started here to make this card. This is the one we're going to be making tonight. It's called Merry Christmas. It's a Merry Christmas card. It's got the Rustic Retreat cabin on it, and then on the inside, may the beauty of the season fill your heart with joy. And that comes from the Merry Christmas to All stamp set. Okay, like I said, this comes from the Rustic Retreat, so I'm going to show you the stamp set if you're not familiar with it. It's got lots of nice things in it. I've used it several times and really do enjoy this set. It's just a stamp set, doesn't have any dies with it, so it's very economical. And if you need something to that's a little bit on the masculine side, like the bear and the deer and what have you, then I suggest that this is a really nice set to have, and it's a nice clean set. It's got the nice rubber stamps in it. So that's the set that I'm using for this particular card. And I am using my Old Faithful stitched label framelits dies, and I'm using this big one right here. So I love this die, and it cuts out such a pretty label, so I hope you will like it too. But before we start that one, I'm going to mention where I got these other cards from. This one, this little Christmas bulb came from the Christmas Gleaming set, and this one came from the Toil Christmas, the Christmas Wishes, and the banner, and the plaid, the pretty plaid. Several of them tonight are going to come from that Wrapped in Plaid DSP. That's a 6 inch by 6 inch piece. And I've stamped the same sentiment on all of them tonight. This one is stamped in real red, as is the color for the border. So the holly also comes from that Christmas Gleaning set, if you're interested in that. So that's one of the cards that I made this week. This one also came from the Christmas. It's actually called Brightly Gleaming DSP. It's called Christmas Gleaming Stamps. So it gets a little confusing sometimes. But anyway, that's where this pretty little Merry Christmas came from, was the Christmas Gleaming Stamps. And then this is the DSP from the Brightly Gleaming set. And this, I used this same stitched label set. I'll show you. Right there is the piece that I used to make this pretty copper colored background. I used some copper foil and a strip of the brightly gleaming DSP. So I thought it turned out pretty well with the Night of Navy on the inside for the color to stamp with and the border. So, I hope you like that one. It's a little bit different. This one might be my favorite. I don't know. This is from the Over the Moon stamp set. I've got the little Merry Christmas from this same Christmas Gleaming stamp set. And I decided to make these little cows look like Christmas cows. So, as you can see, I colored them in Christmas colors, and I put a little necklace on the female cow, and so I don't know. I don't know if you like it or not, but I hope you will. And it's just sort of a different take, and it's not the kind of card you necessarily think of at first as using two little cows for a Christmas card. But hey, if you live in the country, you may like them. So that's my Christmas cows. This is also from the Brightly Gleaming DSP, and on this one I embossed the Christmas bulb in the Pretty Peacock color, which is this border color here. And of course it has accents in the Brightly Gleaming DSP as it's all coordinated. And I used the copper as one of the triple banners. Well, I've got double banners here, but the triple banner punch will punch out all three different sizes, one that's even smaller than this. So there's a card from that, and there's the Pretty Peacock color on the inside. Okay, this one is from the Winter Woods stamp set, My Faithful Christmas Tree, and I embossed that after stamping it in white. I used the softly falling embossing folder to get that snow that looked like it was falling. Put a little piece of, I used another oval to offset this with with the Real Red to brighten it up some. And this is the Real Red ribbon that we have, and this is placed on some more of that wrapped in plaid DSP in the 6x6 pack. So you see where that came from. And I embossed this onto a piece of red, Real Red cardstock to make the Merry Christmas stand out in this one. So that's a little bit different take than we sometimes see, but this is certainly a traditional looking Christmas card. And I used the Real Red on the inside again. I guess I was using a lot of Real Red this week, as you can see. This is some that has a Real Red stripe in it. There again, from the Wrapped in Plaid DSP. I embossed this Christmas bulb with gold, and the Merry Christmas with gold. And this particular die came from the Frosted Bouquet die set that is in the big catalog. And sometimes when you need something that's just offset a little bit, that's a really nice one to use. I also put some of the little toil gleaming enamel dots on this one. And of course the Real Red bow at the top and the Real Red color on the inside. So hope you like that one. And this last one is so totally simple and quick. If you need a really, really quick Christmas card, you might want to consider one like this. I took the shaded spruce, coordinated it with a piece of the Wrapped in Plaid. I embossed two of these Christmas bulbs. I positioned them over a gold strand through the paper. I embossed the Merry Christmas onto a white piece of paper that's gold embossing. And the inside, I use shaded spruce. And nothing could be quicker than this one. So this is a really simple, really quick if you need something fast. All right, I'm going to show you one other thing before I start the Christmas cards. It's something else I've been playing around with and you might be interested. I have been trying to learn how to make these little boxes. And I think this one turned out pretty well for my first one. And what you can do is you can cover some cardstock and actually make it look like a Christmas card on the outside. As you can see, this is very similar to the Christmas card that I made last week, only this has got a little bit of gold accent and maybe a little bit different tag on it. But that makes such a pretty little box if you need something that's kind of dressed up. So if you need a box and you need something to put on it, you might consider that. All right, now to the Christmas card that we're going to make. I hope these ideas are helpful without using so many different sets. I'm just reusing the sets and integrating the ones that I already have for right now. And I will show you what we have for our, what we need for our card tonight. As you know, we always start out with a card base. This one's Whisper White. 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4. Then for the inside, we have one piece of shaded spruce, which I went ahead and glued these together just to save a little bit of time. But this piece of shaded spruce is 5 1/4 inches this way by 4 inches this way. And the Whisper White that I stamped the sentiment on is 3 3/4 by 5. So those are your two measurements for the inside. I'll lay that over, put this down. You'll also need a piece of the shaded spruce. This one, there again, is going to be 5 1/4, and this is horizontal this time, by 4. And apparently I picked up an extra piece. I didn't mean to do that. This comes from the Regal 6 by 6 inch pack of DSP. We have different color sets, and this one is called Regal, and it has different designs in it. And I just like this pretty color on this one, and so I took a piece of this. Of course, it coordinates with the shaded spruce. And this one is 3 3/4 by 5. I stamped the little cabin onto a piece of Whisper White. And then well, actually, if you color it first, it works better. And then you can cut it out with the stitched labels die. And I'm going to show you the colors that I used for this, so that if you want to be able to make one that looks just like it, you'll know what colors I used. Of course, I used the shaded spruce, and these are the, these are the watercolor markers. They're called Stampin. Let me give you the correct name. You can get these in a packet, you know, based on which colors you want. But this one I used the shaded spruce, and that was for the background trees, the evergreens right here. I think I'm here where you can see, at least I hope so. I used the mint macaron for the roof, and if you notice, this mint macaron, I've got a little piece of paper here that fell out of something. Let me get, well, I don't guess it'll hurt anything, but I was just trying to get it out of the way, and it seems like it wants to hang around. But this color, this lighter color in here, I thought blended well with the mint macaron, and that's why I used that. I use gray granite for the smoke and the chimney. I used the soft suede for the cabin, and for the windows, the woodwork of the windows, and then for the light shining through, I used So Saffron. So those are the colors that I used to color this little cabin, and there's nothing fancy about doing that. But I will say this, something a little tip that might be helpful to you. When you go around these little trees, it's probably better to use that tip, because you can get right into those little tiny sharp places, and then you can go back with this tip and fill in. So I found that worked better. All right. The other thing, I've got a Merry Christmas, and this is going to go on to this piece of Whisper White. And I am thinking that this is a 1/2 inch by, oh, those must be millimeters there. Let's see. I know. I forgot to measure this. I just cut out what I thought. It's about 2 inches. Just about 2 inches. Sorry about that. Sometimes I am bad to trim off and not think so much about what length it is, but, you know, to get it to look the way I want it to. So that's going to go on the outside as well. I have enough ribbon to reach around the cardstock, and that's going to go on the front here in a minute, and I'll show you how I'm going to put that on. And then I tied a little bow out of the Whisper White ribbon. So let's see if we can get at it, and we'll put it together. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to put this, I can never remember what this stuff is called. Excuse me, I'm going to reach across. It is called Polka Dot Tulle Ribbon, and it comes like this, and mine's getting kind of low, but because I like this, it comes in handy every once in a while. So what I do, there we go, is I'm going to take a little piece of tape, and when I get this positioned where I think it's about in the center, and I will bring that around that way, and then just secure it with a little piece of tape. You do the other thing, the other end the same way, and I'm lining it up along those little checks, which makes it easy about getting it straight across. You just, okay, there. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little piece of ribbon and put it right on top. And I guess this is about 6 inches or a little bit longer, because this is 5 inches wide. So you're going to need about 6 minimum, maybe a tad more of each kind of ribbon. And I'm going to place this in the center over the tulle. At least that's what I'm going to try to do. All right. I think I got a little piece of tape hanging out on the other side, but I'll get it. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to take a little pair of scissors here. I have a little corner that's sticking over, and I don't want that there, so. Put that down here in the trash can if I can get it off my thumb. Okay. As you can see, that's really snug, but when you press it down, it's flat. Okay. I am going to take a glue dot and put in the underneath that ribbon, just because it will help to hold it in place. And I'm going to put the label over it so it will not show, and that will help. Okay. Now then, the next thing I'm going to do is we're just going to go ahead and glue these two together and get that much done before we add anything else. This has been a bit of a busy week for me. I might mention to you, as I have in the past a week or so ago, that I've been having a bit of back problems, and not that I want to focus on my health, but I do need to make you all aware that in December, as a matter of fact, the 23rd of December, I will be having back surgery, and hopefully that will get me in a little bit better shape than I have been in. The doctor tells me I have a vertebra that is moving a ½ an inch that's not supposed to be doing that. So, I'll let you folks know ahead of time that I'm going to be out of commission for a few days anyway. I will be making as many cards as possible up until that point in time. And maybe if things go well, it won't be long till I'm back at it again. I can, as long as I can see it, I can probably make my cards. At least I hope so. But if things get a little wacky, you'll know why. So that's all I'll say about that. Let me get a baby wipe. I am sticky again here. Okay. Now then, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to put some dimensionals, some stamping dimensionals. They come in a packet like this, if you don't know. And I'm going to put them on the back of this little label. This label is so nice for so many different things. It's just one of my favorites. It's a nice large label. As you can see, you can actually put an image on it if you want to. You don't have to, but you know, you can just put a sentiment on it if you want to. But it's just versatile, and it's so pretty. It's not designed to be a Christmas label per se, but it works for one. At least in my mind it does. I hope it does in yours. And I'm going to take off these little protective coverings. That's what I call them. I don't know what the proper name for them is, but here we go. Time is running out for making Christmas cards. I cannot believe that we're almost to Thanksgiving. We had a gathering for my husband's father's birthday, a family gathering. He turns 93 in a few days. So this is a once a year event. All right, let me see. I'll try to put that on there as straight as I can. And I think that's okay. I'm going to pat that down a little bit. So we did that yesterday. We had the Thanksgiving get-together for the family, and oops, had to pinch my finger there. I'm using my little reverse tweezers because it makes this easier. Okay. And you can kind of, it helps you to space it in these little places too. And then you can kind of set it into its place. All right, I think that's going to be okay. And press that down gently. That's where I pick up this glue, as if a tiny little bit comes out from under a label or what have you. Okay, I guess that's okay. I'm trying to be sure. All right. And I'm just going to put a little glue on the back of this one too. I think the thing that I liked about this card, and I was debating on which one to make on camera, was the colors. I just love this green color and the blending of the two colors. Okay. All right, we'll put this on the card base. Some of the others had some embossing. Actually, this one is probably easier to make than some of the others. But it makes a nice looking Christmas card, I thought. Okay. Whoops. Well, okay, there we go, I think. I got just a tiny little bit of glue right here. If there's any that looks shiny when it dries, I will take it off with that little eraser that I have to get glue off with. All right, there. We'll wait just a second to put the bow on. And let me go ahead and get this part. I love the way you can use parts of one stamp set to make an altogether different looking card. You don't have to have innumerable sets, as you can see. I'm using 2 or 3 things that comes from different sets, but it's just so nice to coordinate things. I mean, and you can use your own judgment as to what you would like to have it to look like. So, all right, well, all we got to do is put this little bow on with a glue dot, and we're going to be set. Okay. These glue dots are so sticky, but that's what you want. Okay. And as you can see, when I tied this little bow, I left some extra tails to make sure that I didn't get it too short to start with. Oh, there they are. I thought, where are my ribbon scissors? I keep this little orange pair because it's easy to identify, and I don't cut paper with it. I just cut ribbon. and it keeps it nice and sharp. Maybe just a tiny bit more. All right. So folks, that's it for this week. That didn't take long. And there again, we got 2 beautiful Christmas cards. And I hope you have enjoyed it. Again, if you need to order something, I'd appreciate your business. The host code is here for November, and if you purchase under $150 before tax and shipping, by all means use that host code. And then if you get up to $150 and you're maybe just getting started and need a lot of supplies, then don't use that, so you can get an extra $15 in merchandise. And it goes on up based on how much you spend. But for $150, it's 10% and $15 worth. Guess that's about it for this week. I thank you for your time. Be sure to check out my website. I will have all the measurements and the information as to how to make this card up. The video may go on tonight, but I will certainly get the instructions up first thing in the morning. So thank you again, and you all have a nice week, and we'll see you again real soon. Thank you.